Hi, Virgo. Um, so I'm organized all my tarot supplies. So I found a whole bunch of decks that I don't use, and I found a couple I didn't even realize I had that I owned. One was the Hanson Roberts. I'd seen people use it online, and I was very familiar with it, but I didn't realize it was because I actually owned it. You have some pretty great cards, especially in the career work sector up at the top here. So let's jump right in.
Um, there's a wave of change gathering force around your existence right now, and its magnitude is far beyond anything incremental or manageable. Not gentle ripples, not gradual shifts you can easily control. Tsunami, complete reorganization, the kind of change that sweeps through and leaves nothing in its previous position. That transforms landscape entirely. That requires you to either rise with the wave or get overwhelmed by resisting it. That demands surrender to forces larger than your ability to micromanage. And here's what makes this different from typical change: you can't stop it, can't slow it down, can't negotiate with it. It's already in motion, already building, already approaching. Your only choice is how you meet it, whether you panic and flail or whether you trust and flow, whether you fight the current or learn to swim with it, whether you see it as catastrophe or recognize it as the breakthrough you've been asking for in forms you didn't expect. In the specific energy of overwhelming transformation, what looks like destruction is often actually clearing. What feels like chaos is often reorganization. What seems like everything falling apart is often everything falling into place in ways your limited perspective couldn't have designed. The tsunami isn't punishment, it's answer. It's the universe responding to your prayers for change by delivering change so complete you can't stay who you've been. Let me illuminate what's gathering in this moment of massive shift. In the reality of how significant transformation actually occurs, there are two types: gentle evolution, where you slowly become different over time, and radical revolution, where everything changes at once. You've been experiencing evolution, small shifts, gradual growth, steady progress. But what's approaching? That's revolution. Complete transformation compressed into short time period. It's highly probable you've been asking for change, praying for breakthrough, wanting your life to look different, feeling stuck in patterns that no longer serve, knowing you're meant for more than you're currently experiencing. And the universe heard. It's just that the answer doesn't look like what you imagined. It's bigger, faster, more complete, more overwhelming. Watch what's currently unstable in your life, what feels like it's about to break, what can't be sustained in current form much longer, what's reaching natural conclusion, what's outgrown its container. These aren't problems. These are exactly what needs to shift to make space for what's trying to arrive. Some tsunamis hit career and financial reality. Job that seemed stable becoming suddenly unstable. Position that felt secure revealing its impermanence. Income source that was reliable changing. But underneath the apparent loss is opportunity. Necessity that forces you into something better. Push that moves you from comfort that was actually stagnation into discomfort that's actually growth. You might be experiencing exactly that kind of professional upheaval currently, or about to experience it. What looks like job loss might actually be liberation from work that was killing your soul. What seems like financial crisis might actually be catalyst that forces you to finally pursue what you're meant to do. What appears as ending might actually be beginning disguised as destruction. Others hit relationship landscape. Partnership that's been declining, finally ending. Connection that wasn't serving either person, completing its cycle. Dynamic that was toxic, becoming unbearable enough that leaving becomes necessary. Or opposite, meeting someone who completely disrupts your emotional landscape, who makes you question everything about how you've been living and who you've been settling for. Watch your relational reality closely. What feels like it's dissolving? Who feels like they're arriving? What connections are intensifying? What patterns are breaking? The tsunami in relationships creates space for authentic connection by removing what was false, creates capacity for real love by clearing out what was merely familiar. This reflection invites you to consider what area of your life currently feels most unstable or on the verge of major shift. Let me clarify what congratulations means in context of overwhelming change. Congratulations, because you're ready. The tsunami only comes when you've developed capacity to handle it. Universe doesn't send more than you can bear. Doesn't deliver transformation you're not equipped for. The fact that massive change is approaching means you've been prepared for it through everything you've survived, through every challenge that built your resilience, through every loss that taught you flexibility, through every difficulty that strengthened your core. In the deep trust required when everything shifts at once, you need to remember that you're not fragile. You're not going to break. You're stronger than you know, more capable than you believe, more resilient than fear tells you. The tsunami is complement, evidence that you've grown enough to handle major transformation, that you're ready for the life you've been building toward. It's essential you receive this change as gift, even when it doesn't feel like gift, even when it's uncomfortable or scary or disorienting, even when you're losing things you thought you needed, even when you can't see clearly where you're going. Trust that what's being removed wasn't meant to stay, that what's being disrupted needed disruption, that what's being cleared is making space for what you've been asking for. Some people resist tsunami energy completely. They fight to maintain control. They grip tighter to what's leaving. They exhaust themselves trying to keep everything in place that's meant to shift. And they suffer enormously, not because change itself is suffering, because resistance to necessary change is suffering. You don't have to be that person. You can choose flow over fight, can choose trust over control, can choose curiosity about where the wave is taking you over panic about losing your current position, can let go of what's leaving instead of clutching what can't stay, can open to what's arriving instead of closing against the unknown. This reflection invites you to consider, can you receive massive change as evidence of your readiness rather than evidence of chaos? Let me speak to what you need to release to ride the wave successfully. First, release attachment to how things should look. You have specific vision of how your life is supposed to unfold, specific timeline, specific order, specific appearance, and Tsunami doesn't care about your vision. It's bringing something better but different, something aligned with who you're actually becoming rather than who you thought you'd be. Let go of the should, open to the is, in the surrender required when life reorganizes without your permission. You discover that your plans were often too small, your vision was often limited, your timeline was often too conservative. The tsunami is delivering upgrade to plans you made when you knew less about your capacity and your worth. It's critical you don't measure incoming reality against outdated expectations. Don't reject what's arriving because it doesn't match what you asked for. Stay flexible. Stay curious. Stay open to possibility that what you're receiving is better than what you requested, even if it looks completely different. Second release, need to understand everything before accepting anything. Tsunami moves faster than comprehension. You won't understand what's happening while it's happening. You'll only understand in retrospect. Your job now isn't understanding, it's trusting, it's moving with the flow, even when you can't see where it's going. Some people need to understand before they'll surrender, need to know the plan before they'll cooperate with the plan, need to see the destination before they'll take the journey. But transformation doesn't work that way. You step into the unknown. You surrender to forces you can't control. You trust that being moved is serving you, even when being moved is disorienting. Third, release people and situations that can't come with you to next level. Not everyone makes the journey. Not every relationship survives transformation. Not every pattern can continue when you fundamentally change. And trying to drag everything forward with you just weighs you down, slows the wave, prevents you from fully accessing what's trying to arrive. This reflection invites you to consider what or who are you holding on to that the tsunami is trying to clear away. Let me reveal what waits on the other side of the wave. When tsunami passes, when transformation completes, when everything settles into new configuration, you'll find yourself in a completely different landscape, not just slightly improved version of current reality, fundamentally different reality, different baseline, different possibilities, different sense of what's normal and what's available in the reward for surviving complete transformation. You often discover that the life you have after tsunami is the life you were afraid to even hope for before it. You upgrade so completely you can barely recognize your old normal. You access opportunities that didn't exist in previous configuration. You become person you couldn't have become without being completely restructured. It's probable you're about to experience exactly that kind of quantum leap. Not gradual improvement, sudden elevation to entirely different level professionally, financially, relationally, internally, all of it. Multiple domains transforming simultaneously, creating compounding effect. Some people emerge from tsunami into careers that fulfill them in ways previous work never did, into financial abundance that eliminates stress that felt permanent, into relationships that show them what love actually looks like versus what they were settling for, into internal peace they didn't believe was possible, into life that feels aligned with who they actually are instead of who they thought they should be. You might be emerging into exactly these outcomes. The chaos is temporary, the transformation is permanent, the discomfort is limited, the benefit is lasting. What you're losing needed to be lost. What you're gaining is what you've been prepared for. This reflection invites you to consider, what would your life look like if everything that currently limits you was suddenly removed? Let me address what to do practically while tsunami is occurring. Stay grounded in your body. When everything external is shifting, your body is your anchor. Breathe, move, feel your feet on ground. Maintain physical practices that keep you connected to present moment. Don't dissociate into overwhelm. Stay here, stay now. Stay embodied in the necessity of groundedness during chaos. People who maintain body connection navigate transformation better than those who live only in their panicking minds. Your body knows how to handle change. Your nervous system is designed for adaptation. Trust the organism. Let it do what it's designed to do. It's important you maintain basic routines even when everything else is changing. Sleep, eat, move, connect with safe people. Do simple things that create structure when structure is dissolving elsewhere. These aren't luxuries, they're necessities. They keep you functional through overwhelming transformation. And ask for help. You don't have to do this alone. Reach out to people who love you, to professionals who can support you, to communities that understand transformation, to spiritual resources that ground you. Tsunami is too big to handle in isolation. Let people help you swim. This reflection invites you to consider, who can you reach out to for support during major life transformation? Let me close by speaking to what this moment is truly offering you. The tsunami is initiation. It's the universe saying you're ready for the next level, ready for the life you've been building toward, ready for the version of yourself you've been becoming. The wave clears everything that would prevent your full emergence, everything that would keep you small, everything that would limit your becoming. May you trust the transformation. May you surrender to the wave. May you discover your strength through being tested. The tsunami is here. The change is massive. The outcome is beautiful. A tsunami is coming. Overwhelming change is gathering force. Complete transformation is approaching. Congratulations. You're ready for this. You've been prepared. Your capacity matches the magnitude. The chaos is clearing. The destruction is actually construction in disguise. And your work is to let it move you, to stop fighting what can't be fought, to release what can't be held, to trust what can't be understood, to flow with forces that are reorganizing your entire reality, to know that being unmade is necessary before being remade, that dissolution precedes new form. Trust this. Trust that you're not being destroyed, you're being transformed. Trust that you're not losing your life, you're gaining the life you're meant for. Trust that the tsunami knows where it's taking you even when you don't. Trust that being overwhelmed now is necessary for emerging elevated later. Let go, surrender, flow. The wave is carrying you to exactly where you need to be. Trust it.